Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Villains Rebuilt. My name is Manxman Matt, and this is my uh, current save that's stemmed from my old Chelsea save. I took over at Aston Villa last season. We're now sort of into the second season. In the last episode, I showed you the early transfers that I had made. So I'll just take you through how the rest of the window has gone. So if we just go into transfer history. So as you can see, since the last episode, I've managed to bring Mario Pasalic in from Chelsea. He is by far and away the best player at the club. He's 4.5 star current ability, so he's brilliant. My main issue with him is his fitness, or his certainly his stamina is not quite there, so he struggles to finish a game. But he is a world, or certainly a Premier League class player, and we're lucky to have somebody like him in our central midfield. And I've also bought a player, managed to get Lucas Piazon. Basically, what happened was about 4 days before the close of the window, Reece Nelson got injured for 2.5 months, I think. I think he's about 4 weeks away from fitness. We're at the end of September. He got injured for a while anyway, so I needed to bring in another left-sided player. The players that we've sort of got that can play on the wings, Ronnie Lopez can't really do it. I've sold El Mohammadi, as you can see from the right, but he couldn't play on the left either. Green can do a job on the left, but he's more comfortable as a winger on the right. He can do a job as an inside forward on the left, but I wanted to bring in somebody who is sort of a natural left-sided player. So Lucas Piazon was on the transfer list, as you can see. I managed to get him for £1.5 million. For those of you that don't know anything about Piazon, this says he's a left midfielder, but he's not. He's a left inside forward. Brazilian. He's uncapped. He played and scored, I think, for Chelsea. Oh no, he didn't score, but he certainly played a Premier League game. I think it was against Villa in like an 8-1 win back in 2012, 2013. He also played when Chelsea were in the Club World Cup. Was that Rafa Benitez that did that? I can't even remember who was Chelsea manager. I think by the time we were there, it was Benitez. I think Di Matteo had already been sacked. So yeah, certainly he's played a couple of times for Chelsea, but most of his career he's been out on loan. He's been at Vitesse like every Chelsea player ever. Malaga, he's had time at Frankfurt and Reading, and most recently at Fulham. Now, in the real world last season, he played a few games for Fulham. As you can see, he played 29 games. In game, the first season, sort of the season that we're in now in real life, this last season for us, it doesn't look like he made 2 appearances, which is not great. But he's come in and he's basically going to be a cover for us, and he's still got the potential to improve. He's only 2.5 star, but he's got the potential to become 3.5 star, which is a top quality Championship player, sort of lower end of the Premier League. And if I just take you through, so we've also, since the last episode, we've sold Chibola, Aaron Chib. I'm going to call him Chibola because that's what I'm going to call him. He was in the reserves, never going to get a look in. Fulham offered me money, and I took it because the club was in financial difficulty. Joe Mason was a striker I bought in January, who just is not going to fit any system that we're playing, so I let him go. Jed Steer kicked up a fuss because he's third choice in the pecking order and he wants to be a starting goalkeeper. There's no way he's ever going to start for me. He's never ever going to be good enough, so he's gone. El Mohammadi, an offer came in, and I don't think he's going to play much. Sorry, yeah, Ronnie Lopez is playing really well from that right side of midfield. We've got Green that can play out there. Leonardo da Silva Lopez has played about 4 games for us. I think he's played out on the right wing 3 times and been man of the match once or twice. He's really doing well out there. I don't think El Mohammadi was going to get a look in, so I'm happy to let him go. And then Matty Palmer, who again was somebody I brought in January an advanced playmaker. He's not as good as Henri Lansbury, so he was never going to get a look in when Lansbury is sort of second choice as an advanced midfielder. If we just look at Pasalic, who's come in, I've changed that advanced playmaker that was the right hand side of the midfield three into a roaming playmaker, because Pasalic, if you can see from his stats there, is just far and away better than anything that we've got at the club. If we just go into the report here, he's 4.5 star. Not much chance to improve, but who cares when he's a good player for most Premier League sides? As you can see, there's not much that he's got as a weak points. They're saying his one-dimensional running hinders his ability to go past his man, but he's not there to go past the man. He's there to play in those amazing balls. Like I say, we've changed it to a Roman playmaker to accommodate him rather than an advanced playmaker, and it hasn't really affected us in the slightest. We've actually been on quite a good run of form. So if I show you how we've got on since the last game, I did say we'd come back for either Leeds or Norwich. When I realised that we were probably going to lose to Watford after the Leeds game, I decided to play that because, as you can see, we've done really well, and I didn't want to be accused of cheating because of all of the massive rants I've been on. And I've still got issues with the game. We've had 4 2 to 3 month injuries so far. So yeah, I mean it's still got that that's annoying me. But since the Cardiff game and the last episode, we've gone on a really good run. So obviously won the first round and second round Carabao Cup games against lower league opposition, and then lost to Watford, which was expected. Other than that, with the exception of that QPR game where I have no idea what happened, we just switched off, I think. But yeah, just nothing happened until none of our players turned up until the second half, which was a bit disappointing. But as you can see, other than that, we've had a draw against Sunderland, a draw against Leeds, and everything else has been wins. As you can see, we've been on a really good run of form. It's actually managed to put us second in the Championship. If we just have a quick look at the league table. So I know Hull have got a game in hand, but they've got to win and win by 4 goals to go ahead of us. So realistically, we'll probably be staying in second. And as you can see, we're 1 point behind Leicester, who have come down from the Premier League. Leicester did. Oh, was it Everton? No, I think Everton had the fire sale, but I think Leicester lost Jamie Vardy and a couple of others, but they've still got players like Islam Samani and they've Riyad Mahrez. They've still got world class players in their team, whereas we've got one Premier League player that would walk into most Premier League clubs, and the rest of the players we've got on the team are good Championship players. So I'm really pleased. I think the media prediction was for us to finish sixth. I think that might have changed now. So that's changed to fifth. It was definitely sixth, but I mean it doesn't matter. They still don't have us as favourites to go up. So as you can see, it was Huddersfield, Everton, and Leicester that dropped down to us. So basically, I'll take you into the current team, how we're playing at the moment. So we've got Galini in goal, we've got Delat at right back, James Chester and John Terry at centre back, and Neil Taylor at left back. David Myler as the defensive midfielder, Pasalic as the Roman playmaker, and Hurricane as a box-to-box midfielder. Got Ronnie Lopez on the right. I'm playing Andre Green on the left today. Piazon has played a couple of games in a row and does need a bit of a rest. He's because he's not played for a full season. He needs help to get through games. I don't know whether it's his fitness levels as well, but like Pasalic, he struggles to make the entire 90 minutes. So we're just trying to manage him till hopefully he can get into. I think he's only just broken into that 92% match fitness, so it might be that he wasn't match fit and that was the only issue. So we'll see. But for now, he's going to start on the bench today. Sam Gallagher is, I think, our top scorer. Green has his form is very patchy. He's either the best player on the park or nowhere to be seen. So, and then we've got the benches: Sam Johnson, Toffolo, and Richards. Henri Lansbury, who is unlucky that we managed to get Pasalic in because he was looking like he was a stonewall starter. He's played some good games, but he's never ever going to get a look in ahead of Pasalic. Pasalic can do either of the box to box or Roman playmaker role, but Hurricane is a better player than Lansbury, so I've given him that Roman playmaker role. And then De Silva Lopez is there to cover right wing, to cover central midfield, to cover defensive midfield. If we decide that we want to do wing backs, which is highly unlikely but still possible, he's there to do that. And then we've got Pearson and Hogan. Hogan, I think, has only got 1 or 2 goals for us. I'd like to see a bit more out of him. I think Wilson might have actually scored a couple more, but they were all in the Carabao Cup. So let's get into this game. So for those of you interested, that is the Norwich City team. I recognise a fair few of them, and from when we played them last season, I know Nelson Oliveira ripped us apart, and I was really annoyed at it. But we'll see. We'll see how we fare in this game. We're still playing just standard rather than going attacking or anything, and we're just sort of manipulating it as the game goes on. Quite often, we'll turn work ball in the box on as well. So they're building from the midfield there. Pritchard back to Tete. There's just slow build here. Now they're looking to cut through. Pritchard was left on his own, managed a shot. Golini saved it well, but parried it back to whoever it was. It's Olivier, of course it fucking is. Oh, Madison through. Shot at Golini, palms it wide, and 2 players had the chance to clear that there. Neither of them did, and it's 1-0 to Norwich. So throw in here. Pasalic loses the ball. Oliviero. Pasalic's won it back though. John Terry up to Hurricane, out to Green. Green's cutting inside. Pasalic has got a chance, and Pasalic scores. I think that's his first goal for the club. So Green's got it. He cuts inside, plays the ball into Pasalic, who takes a couple of touches, shoots from the edge of the area. McGee tries to save it, but gets a hand to it, but it hits so hard that it's just gone straight in, and that's 1-1. So as you can see, we've had lots of shots, so I'm not inclined to go any more attacking. But we've just not been clinical at all. Don't think there's been any highlights apart from the 2 goals. So we're just going to continue on and see if we can get anything else from this game. If nothing's happened by about 60 minutes, we'll probably look to change it up a bit. So we're going forward here, building fairly slowly, but Green is now out wide, cuts it back to Gallagher, whose shot is cleared, blocked by their centre back and then cleared. So with not much happening, we're going to make some changes. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring Lucas Piazon on. Green is having an all right game, so I'm actually going to bring him on for Lopez. Swap those 2 over. So Piazon is going to become an inside forward on the left. Going to make him attacking, just see if we can get him going forward a little bit. And Green is going to be a winger on the right hand side, and we'll just make the one change for now, and then see if we can change that up. So they've got the throw here, working well, but we're breaking on them. Gallagher through to Pasalic, through to Green, into Hurricane, and that's 2-1 to Villa. Cracking well worked counter-attacking goal there. So Hurricane's got it here, through to Gallagher, into Pasalic, who plays it into Green. Green brings the keeper out, squares it to Hurricane, and that's a well-worked goal from Aston Villa. It's nice to see us breaking forward with pace. So I'm just going to make another change here. And I think what I'm going to do, we don't really have anybody that can go in defensive midfield, which is a shame because Myler is knackered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Henri Lansbury on for Pasalic. Am I? I'm not. I'm going to bring Henri Lansbury on for Myler, and I'm going to make Pasalic that defensive midfielder because he can do a job. I'm going to make him a register, and then I'll make Lansbury an advanced playmaker on attack so they don't trip over each other. And I think the other thing I'm going to do, John Terry is looking shattered, so Mika Richards is just going to come on for him. And he can't do anything, of course, because he's Mika Richards and he's not good enough for this level, but he can do a job there, and hopefully we can start to shut this game down now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop back to counter, and hopefully we've still got a lot of pace on the pitch, so we should be able to break with a bit of speed. Should Norwich attack us, but other than that, we'll see how things go. So Oliveira through to Sims. I'm sure they're going to score straight away now, and I'm going to regret that. And Oliveira puts it over the bar, thank God. Another throw for them, Oliveira, and it's straight down Galini's throat. So we're into the last 5 minutes of the game now. I'm just going to drop it down to contain, and I'm going to play even safer, take a breather, see if we can retain possession, clear the ball at the flanks, and I don't want to work the ball into the box anymore. I'm not fussed about attacking. I just want to shut this game down now, and hopefully that'll be the end of things. Cleared from Galini to Gallagher. Norwich have won it back though. Oliveira picks it up to Sims. Sims is in behind us, and Oliveira has scored. It's gutting, but if I hadn't gone contain, they'd have scored anyway, so I'm not fussed about that. Sims with the ball across. It's down to Madison. Good save by Galini, but just fallen to Oliveira, who's got an open net. He's got two poachers' goals there. I don't know whether he is a poacher, but certainly he's been really lucky with the goals he scored there, and that's the end of the game. So it's a little bit disappointing, but a 2-2 draw against Norwich isn't too bad. I think they're going to be one of the contenders for promotion, certainly for a playoff place. So a 2-2 draw against them is not bad at all. I'm happy with that. Just have a quick look at the league table before we go, just to see. So we dropped down to third, which is nothing really. With just 1 point between us, Leicester and Huddersfield. Borough have got the chance to go above us as well, but even if they do, and Hull can, like I say, pull level on points with us. But as long as we stay in this mix before Christmas, I'm really not that fussed. We've got some tough games coming up. I think what I'm going to do is we're now into October. I think what I'll do is probably come back around mid-December. So we'll try and get a big chunk of games out of the way. Maybe come back for the Huddersfield game, so you can see how we're doing against former Premier League opposition. Not Everton is too close and Leicester's too far away. I think what I'll do, come back for that Huddersfield game, and then I'll come back at the end of the January transfer window, so that you can see if we make any signings. The club is no longer in the financial worries that they were in. So we now get 85% of transfer fees rather than 10% or 15%, whatever we were getting. It wasn't enough last over the summer, but once we sold our final player, once the money from that had come in, they said, right, okay, we'll now start to give you 85%. So if I can move on a couple of the players that I'm not worried about, not fussed about having at the club, we might look to bring in some new signings. I really would like a new right back, and I was looking for one, but then obviously when Reece Nelson got injured, I had to forget about that, and I had to get some cover in for the left hand side of midfield because there's just nobody apart from him was natural on the left. So that's what we've done. So if you've enjoyed today's episode, I know we've drawn after a massive sort of winning run that you've missed, but if you enjoyed it, please leave a like. If you want to see how we get on and you want to see more of my content, please subscribe to the channel. And thank you very much for watching.